Alright, so here you go. Ron Paul upset Santorum in Missouri caucuses, buoyed by huge youth vote turnout. Huh. The final outcome of Missouri's lengthy caucus process may not be known for months. Early results, however, indicate that Ron Paul may well walk away from the state. So I'm kind of reading this far away, so I'm like failing here. Let me stop Rain Manning it. May well walk away from the state with the most delegates. Yesterday, his supporters overwhelmed the largest pooled caucus, Jackson County, responsible for sending 179 delegates to the state and congressional district conventions, winning over two-thirds of the available delegate slots. Mr. Paul also swept St. Louis, winning all of the city's 36 delegates. Missouri's second and third largest caucuses, which convened last Saturday, reported similar results. In Greene County, 111 delegates. Paul backers won nearly 60% of the delegate slots. In St. Charles, which had 147 delegates, they so thoroughly dominated that the county GOP chair, allegedly a Santorum supporter, adjourned a meeting and called in the police to prevent the election from taking place. In each of these counties, Paul supporters were outnumbered by Santorum supporters by at least 4-1. Against, what are they talking about? I guess you're talking about the actual beauty contest vote, not the actual straw vote. So I'm not going to read this whole thing here with my cell phone because it's kind of annoying, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that this election is about to enter the fun mode because I think this shit's about to hit the fan. This process of selecting delegates is the GOP's own fucking process. This is their rules, this is their system, and we are playing it. And we are beating them at their own fucking system. And now they're going to start crying, bitching, and moaning, oh, they're cheating, they're not doing it right, they're mean. What is the word they'll use? Savage. We're savages. Why? Because we can get people actually out to caucus? It's because we got better supporters. That's why they're more fervent, whatever the fuck it is. So anyways, it's an interesting process to watch all this out, and all I can say is at this point, and honestly, to me, it looks like it's going to go to Tampa, because you do the numbers, I don't think there's any way that Mitt Romney is going to be able to get to 1144 before the convention, and nobody, Rick Santorum certainly isn't going to give it up to Mitt Romney just to hurt Ron Paul. These people at this point, Rick Santorum probably dislikes Mitt Romney now, every bit as much as he doesn't want Ron Paul to be president. So you can't help but see at this point that it may well come down to that second vote at Tampa. And I hope that vote is out loud. In other words, each state, counts their own votes and then announces them verbally as opposed to any sort of shenanigans. Because what I don't want is the vote behind the scenes and then trot it out with Mitt Romney number 1, Rick Santorum number 2, Ron Paul number 3. Perfect. But what would happen, it wouldn't matter anyways, because hell, if that happens, a lot of the Ron Paul supporters probably just walk out. And which is cool, because then what would happen is you'd have a half-empty convention site. So this is really going to be an amazing event we're going to see over the next year, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this all transpires. I think there's going to be violence at some of the caucuses. They're going to start to see fights. You're going to start to see more blatant attempts at cheating. Blatant cheating. Basically, given the rules at these local caucuses, you're going to start seeing even more cheating. And the GOP bigwigs are in a tough spot because to the public, they're trying to give this impression of fairness. Let the process work. Just let the process work. But behind the scenes, however, they are scared shitless that Ron Paul and his minions are going to do it. And it's scaring the hell out of them. And they're the ones, the GOP, they're the ones that decided to do the whole proportional delegates, and they did it for Romney. At least that's what Doug Weed's saying, which kind of makes sense. And they did it to, I guess you could say, to make it easier for a non-Southern candidate to win. And so it benefits Paul, so now I guess they just got to break the rules again. So anyways, this is just an update. What I'm doing here is I'm telling you that this thing has only just started. And I really do firmly believe it's only going to get worse, because the people within the party who are not Ron Paul supporters, who dislike Ron Paul, they don't think we belong in the party. They don't think that the Ron Paul people belong in the party. So irrespective of whether or not, he got 20, 50, 100,000 votes in said state or whatever, as a Republican, they think it's their opinion that matters. Like, we give a shit what their opinion is. So, there are videos circulating now where you could see the fraud, if I'd call it fraud at this point, but just, blatant cheating in the process. So it's important to understand that we're not cheating. We're the ones actually following the rules. 98% of the time, it's probably them breaking the rules in order to keep us from winning. And that's exactly what happened with the caucus in Missouri, where they called the cops. In fact, he didn't call the cops. He had called the cops before the caucus even started, because he knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew he was fucked. He knew he had lost. If you can't get Santorum supporters to show up, then you lost. Don't sit there and blame Ron Paul supporters because you can't get more people out. The whole purpose of this process is to get people involved, to get people into the local party, and to help grow it. That's the whole purpose of this. So, if all these people are showing up because of Ron Paul and the movement, then that's supposed to be a good thing for the Republican Party. So, that's pretty much it. Just a little bit of a rant. I hope this video doesn't blow, because I'm doing it on my cell phone. See ya.